The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining our webinar. Today, we are here to discuss one of our new app, that is DeDupeD, that not only prevents and detects your duplicate records, but also merges it on a mass level. Before we start, let's wait for some of the users or some of our attendees to join in, and then we can start off with the session. I hope all the attendees have joined in. Let's begin with the webinar. Let me introduce myself. I am Ranjana Verma, Business Manager at iNogic, and today I am here to present our newly launched DeDupeD, an app and data hygiene app that detects, prevents, and merges duplicate records within Dynamics 365 CRM. Before we start off with the session, I would like to introduce or just explain the webinar logistics. So as you know, all the lines would be muted throughout the webinar. In case you have any questions or queries, you can just type in the chat box over here, and I will be answering them for you at the end of the webinar. Now, before we start off with one of our product, that is DeDupeD, it is important for us to understand what iNogic is. A brief introduction, and then we can dive into it. So iNogic is one of the leading ISV solution, plus it's also a service provider. We are in the business for a decade now. Apart from DeDupeD, we have other 15 productivity apps that includes one of my favorite, that is SharePoint Security Sync, that not only migrates your attachment but also syncs up the security role of your CRM within SharePoint. The second one, that is again a newly launched app of ours, that is WhatsApp for Dynamics. It is an integration of WhatsApp within Dynamics 365 CRM, right? And hence we have other 15 apps as well that you can reach out to us if you need any extra, if you need any demo or a personalized demo from us. Additionally, we are also a system and integrator, and we assist our partners and customers for offshore development services. If you want to know more about us or need any of the demonstration, you can just reach out to us at crm@inogen.com. And now let's just begin with the agenda for today of what we are going to cover, and then we'll start off with the live demo as well. So the agenda for today is first understanding the challenges of duplicate records and why do you need DeDupeD for that matter. What are its features and the live demonstration of those features, followed by an FAQ session and a Q&A session, right? So the need for DeDupeD. At any point in your system, there would be around 20 to 30% on an average duplicate rate on your database. And this is statistics that has been taken from various analysis. And mounting these percentage of 20 to 30 duplicates, it amounts to somewhere around 12.9 million a year. That is the average cost incurred by the company due to these records. Simultaneously, if you remove these duplicates and clear up your system, there is a chance of at least or a minimum 66% of increase in your annual revenue based on the data that you have. DeDupeD ensures not only ensures the data integrity and consistency, but also helps you while analyzing to have a clear view on your data. And the data is well maintained and well hygiened. Not to mention the space that it saves when you're clearing up these duplicates, right? So now let's begin with one of the use cases that we have. As a system or as a company or a corporation, at any point of time, there are different departments and a client or a lead that comes in interacts with us via different sources, different fronts. Like John Richard over here that we have has interacted with iNogic via 3 different medium. He might have came in as a sales lead via web check-in or social media inquiry, and later on our marketing team might have sent him some of the webinar links or some marketing material through which it has also interacted with us. Similarly, in the past, he might have raised any support tickets and hence a lead is created there as well, right? So John over here has interacted with us via 3 different mediums, and just for one record of John, there are 3 leads or 3 records that are in my CRM. Imagine this is just for one lead that we are talking about. Now imagine this happening with you over the period of years wherein you are creating a large sum of redundant or duplicate data. Tracing and managing these duplicates would be even a bigger task for you when it comes to hundreds and thousands of data together over here. But you don't have to worry on this problem because we have DeDupeD now, and it is at your service to eliminate all those duplicates and help you with a proper system. So without any further ado, let me take you to the live demonstration of the tool so that you know how it works. Okay. Just a second. Let me change the tab over here. So now, as you can see, that we are in my CRM instance over here, and I am on the entity that is lead, and I have one new lead that has came in, that is Simon, and I am going to work on it. But before I work on it, there is this form notification that I can see over here that says duplicate record exists for this record, right? So that means this is not a very fresh lead. Simon might have interacted with us in the past. How do I know which all duplicates are there, and how do I, understand with whom she has interacted? For that matter, we have an option that is on demand. You can just click on this and you will be able to see all the duplicates that are present within the system over here. right? So let's give it a second, and it is going to see all your records and create and show you what all duplicates you have, right? So now here on this UI, you can see that this is your current record that you are working on, whereas there are 5 different leads under the same email ID of Simon that are present over here as a duplicate record. Similarly, there is cross-entity option available as well, wherein you can see if the duplicate exists in any other entity apart from the one that you're looking for. So it could be contacts, it could be accounts, or any other custom entity of yours, right? So I see that there's one duplicate of Simone in contacts as well. Now this is just one lead, that is Simone, and she has somewhere around 5 duplicates over here. Similarly, you have hundreds and thousands of records in your system, and then there would be multiple duplicates of them. So, you might ask me that, do I go ahead and do it one by one, merge them one by one, or as and when I encounter them, should I merge them? So is there any foolproof method wherein I can just bulk merge them together so that my historical data is cleared, and then henceforth we can future proof the system? So for that, yes, we do have an option, and that option is an web app or an Windows app that works outside of your CRM. It's a DeDupeD app that is shipped along with the solution. You just need to install it. As soon as you install it, this is the page that you encounter, and here you have to select the deployment type. So here it is an online system. I have selected Office 365. You need to select this option of display list of available organization so that all your organizations are listed, and it is going to ask you to log in through your credentials over here with the region, username, and password. Now, in case you don't know any region of yours, you can just select don't know option, and it is going to work just the way it is, right? So let me log into the system and then show you how simple is the UI and how you can bulk merge your historical data, right? Let's give a few seconds to this, and it would be up and ready. Here it is, right? So the UI, like I said, it is pretty simple and very straightforward. Here, it is going to ask you the entities that you want to find duplicates of and merge them. So here you can see I have configured 2 of my entities, that is contact and leads. In your case, if you have multiple entities, you can configure them as well. It's not necessary that it should be only out of box CRM entity. It could be a custom entity as well, right? So here now I am selecting lead as an option for the entity, and here you need to select a particular view on which you want to find the duplicates for. Now view is something we all know is a criteria that we set. It could be a system view or a custom view, a criteria that we set, and only the records that fall under that criteria would appear, right? So as soon as I've selected the view, there's 86 records that have been published or that are present in this particular view of mine, right? So now when I click on this find duplicate option over here, what is this going to do is it is going to find the duplicates of this 86 records within your thousands and hundreds of lead records that you have within the system, right? So let me click on the find duplicates over here. Now this is searching the entire system of yours, the entire data records of yours with respect to a parameter or a duplicate detection rule that we would be taking you through in the configuration part, right? So it is scanning the system. As soon as the scanning is done, we would have much more information over here present, right? So it has scanned the entire system for this 86 leads, and it has found 55 duplicates of it, which eventually they have grouped into 25 groups so that it is easy for us to navigate around, right? We also have an option of export duplicates. In case you have a very large sum of data present over here, the option is either you go with the next option that we have given over here, scroll through it, or just use this export duplicate option. When you click on this, it is going to export an Excel for you with all these records as it is grouped inside and you can just refer it for your reference, right? Similarly, if you want to search for any of your leads, let's say you want to see Simon, so you can just type in the initials or any keyword and it is going to search for you. So here you see I have mentioned sim only, and hence there are two records that are found because there's sim in this as well. As we have seen our previous example, there were somewhere around 6 duplicates that were found for Simon, the current record, and then there were 5 duplicates that we saw earlier. The same is replicated here as well, like you can see, right? And now let me take you to the grouping part of it. You see that there is, grouping done, and one of these records is termed as master, whereas the rest of them is a subordinate. So how do you define, or how do you term it as master and rest of them as subordinate? So again, in the configuration part wherein I would be taking you through, you can define which one to keep it as your master and which one to keep them as subordinates, right? But for any of the reason, let's say you know that this particular lead of yours should be the master rather than the rest of them. In that case, we have the option of just clicking on it, selecting make master, and you see now the arrangement has changed. We have a new master now, right? So this was the UI introduction. Now let me do what we are here for. Let's do a mass merge of these records. It is going to say that it cannot be undone, so you have to be very clear about it that you want to merge them. When you click on yes, it is going to go ahead and merge all these duplicate records, right? Till the time it is merging in the background, like I said, uh, you know, every time I have said that I would be taking you through the configuration. So let me take you through the configuration while this is merging on bulk, right? So let me go back to my CRM. Here is our entity configuration page. And in the start of the tool, you might have seen only 2 of my entities. That is because I have configured only 2 of my entities over here, right? As soon as I click on them, I will be able to dig deeper into it. So now here, let me take you to the master record rule. That is which one to create them as master. So here we have multiple options. The first one, or the one that I had selected, was the latest modified, or that is modified just now. Whereas you have the other option of first one to be modified, that is the oldest one to be modified. Same goes with the created option as well. You have the latest created or the oldest created, right? And these two are my personal favorites because this is much more easy for me to have the master as, because one of them is most field values. That is the record that has most of their field values being filled should become the master, and rest of them should be the subordinates. The second one is again most activities. So the record that holds most of the activities, it could be phone call, it could be an appointment, it could be a simple uh, uh, mails or anything, any activities that comes under it. So the record that has most number of activities should be the master, rather others should be the subordinates, right? So these are some of the predefined criteria that we have shipped. But in case, let's say you don't want any of these criteria, rather you have your own set of rules that you might want to implicate on the master record. So in that case, we have the option of criteria based, wherein you can just fill in your fetch XML over here. From your advanced find, you can create your own criteria, have a fetch XML and paste it over here, and it is going to honor that fetch XML and then create the master according to that particular criteria that you have mentioned, right? And then we have something called as duplicate matching rules. Now, how do you define, which one, how do you define a record to be a duplicate? For some, it would be that if the emails match, it should be a duplicate. Or if the phone number match, it should be a duplicate. Similarly, I have created a rule for myself for duplicate matching. That is the email address should be exactly matching as it is with the rest of them in order to term it as a duplicate, right? So this was the duplicate matching rule that I wanted to take you through while configuration. Now, as and when the configuration would be needed, we would be again revisiting it based on its requirement, right? So now let's just revisit the tool and see if it has merged or not. So we have already, the records have been merged. Let me click on download over here. It is going to download a Excel for me. So let me name it and save it, right? And now let me open it for you. So here, if you can see, let me expand this. Yes, so I have expanded the entire rows and columns so that you can see it clearly. And like you can see, there are all these leads that you find over here have been merged properly, and all of them are the master records. None of the subordinates are there. And here you can see the status of them. So in case if any of the records that in future, I am sure that it won't fail, but in case it fails, there would be a status mention of the same, right? So here you can see all our records that we have right now is duplicate free. Now this was a part wherein you can clear up. Let me hide this and go back to our system. So yes, so now you might ask me that this is the historical proofing of it, wherein we have just changed the historical data of the leads and it is now all clear. But what if someone else from my team is going to create Simon in the next time? Whenever Simon registers again, it is going to create another lead of its, and again we will have the same problem of duplication and other things, right? So in that case, how do we encounter that? So here, let me show you how do we do it. So let me create a new lead here itself and then showcase you. Let me fill in all the necessary details in order to save over here. Then let me name it as Simon for now, and then the email ID over here. And as soon as I've clicked on this, I have put in the email ID, the pop-up has automatically been generated. And it says that there is one lead already been created for Simon over here. And you are working on another of your leads. So do you want to proceed or not? So this is just a pop-up for you to understand there's already a duplicate present over here. Now let's say as a habitual habit, I have clicked on ignore over here, and then again trying to save it for my reference for me. So here again it is going to give you a pop-up of the duplicate detection that there's already a lead that is present over here. Now in some of the businesses or in some of the scenarios, it is important for us to create duplicates. Let's say I am a CEO and I want to work on this particular lead of mine separately from what my salesperson is actually doing it. And I really want to create a duplicate. So how do I do it? I can just click on ignore and save over here, and it is going to create a lead for me. Now you might say that every salesperson can do it. Every salesperson can, just click on this button of mine, that is save and ignore, and create as many duplicates as it wants. So no, it cannot do that. Let me take you to the configuration of that as well. So as you go on the configuration in the general tab over here, you will find an option of allow to ignore duplicates. And here you can select yes or no, depending on how your business use case is. Let's say I have selected yes, but now I don't want all my users to use that particular option of ignore and save, right? Rather, I want some of my users only to use them. So here I can define which roles should be entered in this particular tab and who can ignore and save and create duplicates for them. So right now I have enabled it for system administrators. Let's say you have your CEOs or any other business relationship, you can select those relationships over here or those roles over here, and it is going to replicate, right? Now, let me do the other way around just to explain you. Since we have time, so let me do that as well. I am selecting no over here. So irrespective of any of the user role, none of them should be able to create any more duplicates, right? I've clicked on no and I've clicked on save over here. Now let's get back to our CRM and try to create another Simon's lead, right? So I have refreshed so that all my settings have been published by now. And now let me click on new over here like this. Let me fill in again the important part like this. And the last name I'm stating is at Simon for now. And this. Again, it has given me a pop-up and it is showing me that there are two already created leads. Now this is the first one that already existed. This is the second one that the system admin has created just now, right? And now if I click on ignore and again try to save it once more, it is again going to give me a pop-up saying that there's already some duplicates that exist over here and you cannot create any more duplicates, right? So this will go up to n number of time restricting you to create anything, hence future proofing your system for you, right? Now there are two use cases that we saw. One was clearing up the historical data through our app, through our Windows app, then preventing any new lead creation or any new record creation from a user perspective. I am the user of CRM and I am creating the leads and this is how it is going to be. But what happens when the leads are automatically generated, right? In our case, there could be a social media interaction and the lead is automatically generated, or a website check-in through which the lead is automatically generated. How do you restrict that particular thing? So in that case, again, let me take you through the configuration. Now this is client-side duplication settings that we saw right now. We have a server-side duplication settings wherein you can prevent the duplicates on either new records being created or an existing record is there and a new record is created again. So in that sense, anytime a new website check-in happens, it is not going to allow it to create because the record already exists in our system, right? So hence it has 100% future proofing that is available with DeDupeD, right? So that is all that I have to showcase you in terms of live demonstration in this webinar. However, you might have your own questions, you might have your own business use cases that you might want to visit on one-on-one interaction. Again, you can write me on crm@inogic and I will be there to help you out, right? So now let's visit what have we just to summarize the entire live demonstration. So as you can see, we have not only identified the duplication of the past records, that is the historical records, but also on demand, the duplication identification is being done. And once the duplicate is identified, it is also prevented so that the system is future proof. And for that, you can have your own custom rules. That is the fetch XML that I have showed you throughout the journey, right? And then the last but not the least, the user-friendly interface. It's a very simple interface just on your form so that you don't have to hustle around your CRM system, right? Now, DeDupeD as a whole is available on Dynamics 365 CRM and Microsoft Dataverse. And it is available on on-premise as well as online deployment. So you can use it as you please, as per your system rather, right? Now let's jump into some of the few, before the Q&As or FAQs, let me know, I wanted to tell you that how do we start next? So in the next steps, you can directly go ahead with the app source link that is present on the email. So you can directly go on the app source, search for DeDupeD and start off with your free trial of 15 days, or reach out to us. We can give you a live demonstration again based on your use case in a one-to-one interaction and then take it forward from them, right? And then some commonly asked questions that we have through our, you might have throughout this journey. So first is, can we clean up the historical records? Yes, we can clean up the historical records. And how do we do it? We have already done it through the app that I have showed you, right? Does it work with all Dynamics 365 entities? Yes, it works with all the CRM entities, be it a custom entity or out-of-box system entity, right? Now, does it work with Microsoft Dataverse? Yes, it does. It works with Dataverse as well as the CRM. Can we merge duplicate records in bulk? Yes, that is the whole purpose of DeDupeD being created, that all your historical data should be merged at a bulk so that you don't have to repeat it again and again, right? So again, our Windows tool is here to help you out. How do I get started? As I have said that the solution is already available on AppSource. You can just go ahead, click on the AppSource link over there and start using the tool for 15 days, or else you can just reach out to us and we will be sharing you the solution. Anyway, it is possible and you can reach out to us at crm@inogic.com. Right? Now let's see if we have any questions uh, from our attendees over here. So let me just get to the Q&A session of it. Right. So yeah. So in terms of Q&A, we have one small question over here from one of our attendees. It says that can anyone apart from system admin can configure the duplicate and merging rule? Okay. So here, yes, they can do it. DeDupeD comes with two roles, that is a admin role, DeDupeD admin role, and a user role. And the users who have the admin access can create this role and can configure the solution as they please, or a system admin can do it. Right? Let's see if there's any other questions that we have. What's So we have one more question over here that says, what's the difference between DeDupeD and the inbuilt, Dynamics 365 CRM thing? So to answer this, firstly, duplicate detection in Dynamics 365 CRM, the detection happens on all the entities across the CRM. But when it comes to merge, it only merges the out-of-box CRM entities and not the custom entities, which DeDupeD does. So I hope I was able to answer your question over here. Still, if you have any more questions, you can just type in, or like I said, you can reach out to us for one-to-one conversation there. Right? So any more questions, guys? Just type in, or else. So I think that is it in terms of question answer sessions.